this DIY, and it's so simple because we are going to need some isolation foam. I show to you a little bit closer. This is just the gray foam you do around your pipes, if I am correct. There can be heating pipes or something else. There's just an isolation for it. And we are going to need some a little piece of a swim noodle. At least you call it a swim noodle. I hope I say, I say it right. So, but this is the main thing we need for this DIY. What we're going to do, we're going to take our swim noodle, and what I'm going to do first, I'm going to lay my other pipes away because I already struggling with the other ones. What I'm going to do, because I also want to have for my birch logs, of course, I also want to have a couple of loose slices, if I am correct. So I'm taking my knife and I'm just going to cut off a couple of this one, and I hope I show it to you right, and I try to get them even as I can. And of course this one, maybe I will do 3 or 4. Just use a very sharp knife, but be careful for your hands. And this is number 4. So you see, now we already have 4 of our slices. We can use to to decorate just loose without loose. If I hope I see it correct, it sounded really strange. At least you can lay them down together with your birch logs. So I think 2 will be enough. Maybe, yeah, I don't know if maybe I need a couple more. Maybe I do 2 more. I always say you can better have a little bit too much than too little, especially with the Christmas time. And of course this one. Now at least we have 6, so we are going to lay them apart, because for all 3 I'm going to make 2 sets of birch logs, and I'm going to do one of the bigger one and the rest will be from the isolation tube. So I'm going to make 2, I think maybe a size like this. I will measure it up in a moment so you can make them also for your own. This is one. And I'm going to do the second one. Of course, I'm just going to measure out this way. And I'm also going to cut this one. So now we already have our 2 bigger pieces. And now we are going to take the isolation tube. And I'm going to take one of them out. And I'm going to, you see already, if I lay them next to each other, I can just even measure out the length I will need, and of course just cut them open. And of course we are going to make 2 of them. For every set we will have a big one and a smaller one, of 2 smaller ones. I think this was just too small, so we need another tube. And this kind of tubes are really inexpensive, because I think they only cost a couple of, maybe at least €1. I think they don't even cost €1. And it's similar like $1, because dollar and euro are almost the same. Of course, again, measure out and just cut it off. And we're going to make another one. It's so easy to do and so easy to work with. You only have to be careful for your hands. That's the only thing that will be dangerous for some people. So you see, we have sets of this 2, this one and this one. What we're going to do right now, and of course don't forget our slices. So we get 3 slices for each set of birch logs, and of course we get 2 and 1. And now we are going to paint them, and I'm going to, before I'm going to paint, I already say painting, but of course we are not going to paint it first. What we're going to do is we're going to get our glue gun, and we're going to make some nice rounds around our logs. My glue gun is already ready to do his job, and what I'm going to do, I would measure out my length, and it is 20 centimeters. So if you want to make them also the same way, they are 20 centimeters. So what I'm going to do is very easily just take one of your piece of your noodle and just take your glue gun and just go around this way and just make nice wrinkles around it. Just a little bit go over it, so this way. And now you get, I hope the camera picks it up right, just go around your swim doodle and just glue it on top of your log, so you can get a nice motif, a little bit wood looking like on top of your noodle. So, but make sure you do it all the way and every corner, each way. It doesn't matter how you do it, just give it a nice structure on top of your, what you think looks more like a log. So everyone does it his own way, and I'm just going to go a little bit around and a little bit this way, and it doesn't matter later on when you're going to paint it. You will see how well you did it or not. So and even if you did the first coat on top of it and you still like to not really the greatest, and you still like to do some couple of more wrinkles, you still can do some wrinkles over it and again paint it over, and you are still fit to go. So it doesn't matter, you can do nothing wrong with it. So just go ahead, just go to try it. So I'm going to do all of them, and of course don't forget the sides of your slice to do. And I have a little bit of an important tip where I'm going to don't place your glue gun against your foam, because from your noodle, because else it will be going through, because of course your glue gun is hot. So just go a little bit over it lightly, so don't push it too hard or else you get little holes inside of your foam. But I think you already will notice that immediately when you are going to work with. So don't forget also the top sides of your noodle. So with these little slices, we are just going to go around a little bit this way and just do some glue a little bit in the way you think it's right, because there's no rhyme or reason how you should do it. It has to look great for your opinion. So this is the most important, and I'm going to show you in a moment. You see already, I just going to do a little on the sides, and later I'm going to go in the middle, and I'm going to try to make little rounds in between, so we get a nice ring in the middle. But we will see if this will succeed or not, but it's just an experiment. We will see. See already our pieces are already dried up, and maybe you can see it now a little bit better how the glue is dried up. I did the tops, and of course I did the tops with some glue, but in another video I also tried to make a birch lock my first time, and I did some little wooden slice on this side. I have those little wooden slices and I glue them on top of here to give the ending, but I wanted to try this time also to do some with some glue, because then you don't have to use the wooden slice, but not everyone have them laying around. So I did it with some glue. You just have to do enough glue over and over again on this way. And you see already it gives a nice structure onto your piece. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take my simple white chalk paint, and of course you can use any color you like, but the birch logs most of the time are a little bit of the white color. So I'm going to give them, all of them, a first coat of white chalk paint, and you see already how much it changes. All of them are painted. I did them 2 times in my white chalk paint. What I'm going to do, I want to make some accents, some distressing with the black. I have here my black schoolboard paint, and of course a little bit of the brown color, but we're only going to distress it, not totally paint it. So I'm going to try to start with my brown, and of course I'm going to do some brown on top of here, a little bit, And now we are going to dip it in and just dab most of the time from your brush, because you don't want to have too much on top of it. You see already it's coming, a lot of the paint is coming off. So just take your piece and just go over it and go around the sides just to make little touches of the brown color. So if you make your brown distressing, just also try to do not only the sides, you see this way, but also keep it in the length. So go over, of course, make longer, yeah, with your brush, longer angles. I don't know how you call it. Here in the Netherlands we call it lange halen. So at least you know what I mean. Make it in the right length, so you get nice straight. You see this, this way, just give it a little bit your own touch and feeling on side of, and of course try to go over what you did with your glue. So just, so you see already, it looks very nice. I will do all of them and then we are going to decorate it. You see already all of them are in the brown distressing to give it a little bit more of a wood feeling. And now of course the last touch before we going to decorate is the black. So I'm taking my black schoolboard paint because that gives a little bit of a nice matte feeling. So I'm going to dab it off again, the most of it, because black is very hard when you have too much on top of your decor piece. So again, just do little pieces of black, not too much, because the brown has to be more, and you just do little, just, it doesn't matter where you do it, just when you it gives you a nice good feeling. That's the most of the time, I will say, because you see, and on the sides also a little bit. Always try to do always on the top of the side and a little bit in the middle. So I will finish them all and then we are really going to decorate it. All of them are finished right now. Now I'm going to build on my little set. At least I call it a set. That means I'm going to do away one of this one. So I'm going to lay this one a little bit sideways. I'm going to glue this one against this one, so this way, and now and later I will glue this one a little bit sideways. I show it to you in a moment. So I will do just some glue on top of here and we'll glue it against the bigger one. So of course I have to be sure that I have it in the right place right now. And I hope I have the real glue side on top of here, or else it doesn't glue. So we will see. I hope this will stick. This doesn't, you see already, it doesn't stick together. Always when my camera is running, everything is going wrong. So have a moment. And yes, he is sticking together. That's the greatest thing about making your own DIY. You can push the button off and on. So you see, this is what I mean. Just do this one, do the smaller one in between. And what we're going to do right now, we're going to do this one a little bit sideways on top of each other. So I'm going to do some glue over here. And I'm going to go do some, I think a little bit over here. Now I hope I have the right place. And I'm going to lay it in between and just squeeze it. I'm sorry. My glue gun is a little bit smoking. Sorry. So I keep it always in place for a little moment so I am sure that it is dried up. And you see, this is what I mean. Now I'm going to take my branches and I'm going to, these are all the branches. I have them already for a long time. But of course, if you can go outside into the nature, I hope you find even the better ones. It's always better than you have this kind of branches. So, but I had this one laying around. I'm going to glue 3 of them on top of our bird log somewhere. It doesn't matter where, just go ahead and do whatever you think it's right. I'm going to do 1 over here, and I'm going to try to get 1 over here, and I'm going to look for and glue it on top of here, and again squeeze it, because if you work with your glue gun, always when you leave your glue and it isn't still not dried up, it will pop off again, at least with me. So I'm going to keep it, and I'm going to do all the others also, give it a place, and then we're going to do some ribbon and some greenery. Now I take my piece of ribbon. I have a black one, white ribbon, and of course I have a plaid one. First I'm going to have to know the measurement which is around our birch log. So I'm going to lay down my birch log, and of course I'm going to measure out, and I'm going to cut out the way it is around our birch logs. So I'm going to see already, this is the size we need, and I'm going to do them twice because I have also another set. So I'm going to do 2 times the black one, and of course 2 times the same measurement with our plaid one. And I'm really loving the plaid color, the red and the green and the black. So of course, and then we are going to lay 1 of them on top of each other, cutting off this size, and again the second time, measure out this way and this way. So I'm going to lay down my plaid ribbon. I will move it out of the way, so you see we have our 2 plaid ribbons over here. Now we are going to do a little bit of glue in the middle, just this way, just a little in the middle, and lay down our black one on top of here, so it gets a nice top on each other. So you see, and it does only need to glue on one side. So what we're going to do right now, we are going to take the bird logs and turn it upside down, because we need some glue on the back side, on the underside of our bird log. We are going to glue the ribbon on top of here, keep it in place for a little moment until it is dried up. Then we are going to bend it over, make sure that we come over at the same place, and of course do some glue under here. So make sure that you have enough glue, everything will stick together. Fold it over and keep it in place for a little second again until it is dried up, and then you can cut off the piece you don't need. So you see, now we're going to cut off the rest we don't need, and we just lay it down. And now you see already, we have already the nice topping of our bird logs. So you see already our 2 sets with our logs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some greenery. I'm going to cut off some pieces I will decorate the top with. And this one greenery I bought on sale, so they were very cheap. So I'm going to cut off a couple of them, not a lot, so, and a little bit of the smaller ones. And I always cut off the ends. You see already, it is a little piece of plastic. I'm always cutting it off. And then we're going to build a little display on top of here. So I turned you over a little bit so you can see a little bit better what I'm going to do. I'm just going to, like I said, 4 pieces, 2 big one and 2 smaller one. I'm going to do some glue on the back side, glue 1 over here, and keep it in place again. We do the other big one, And of course I want to have it bend over a little bit, so I always bend my greenery a little bit. I say a little bit, I'm sorry, I hear myself saying it. I don't know why, but I always do. And placing it on top of here. Again, squeeze it a little moment. Now we get the smaller two. And we are going to glue this one in the other direction. A little bit over here. And you see here, I have still on this one the plastic ends. Because when you pull off your pieces, you always get the plastic ends. And I don't like that, so I always pull it off. And I'm going to do this one over here and place it in between. Now we get a little display with some greenery. And you see, this is how he's looking like right now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take some little branches of my berries. Of course, I will pull off a little piece and I will cut off. And I'm going to, I think, one this way and the other one in the opposite direction. So I found two pieces. I will use this little berry and this one. So I on both of my sets I have the same, because that's just me. I always do on every set, I do the same way. So I'm going to glue this in the middle, because we will place a bow on top of here. So just squeeze it sideways and don't burn yourself, because it will be very hot, your glue. So a little bit over here. And now I'm going to do the other side. Of course, some glue. And I'm going to place it again in between the greenery and just keep it in place. And I show it to you a little bit better in a moment, so you can see also the top. You see, it looks now very like a disaster, but when you put the bow on, it will be looking fine. So, but again, it's not dried up yet, so I have to keep it in place for a little moment. For our bow, we are going to cut out 20 centimeters of our ribbon, 25, just a little bit how big you want it to have. And of course, I did 2 black and 2 with the plaid. What I'm going to do, I'm going to first bend over and do some glue on top of here and just fold this one over here. So it's very easy. Just do a little bit of glue over here and bend over your other piece of ribbon and glue it together. So you get a nice round this way. Wait until it is dried up. And of course, be careful, because the glue will go through your ribbon, at least through my ribbon. I'm going to place my glued piece in the middle, lay it on top of each other and just squeeze it. And you see here, this is what I mean. And now I'm going to get a little piece of my black ribbon and I'm going to bend it over. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the plaid. I do also with the black one. And I'm going to fold it over a little bit this way. And again, be careful, because the glue is hot, at least mine is. So now we had 2 of our piece. Of course, this one is also in the middle on the underside. Squeeze it a little bit. And we have also our plaid one we squeezed already. And I already cut out a little piece of my black ribbon. It doesn't matter how long it is. It doesn't have to be so long. So, and of course I squeeze this one also again. And now I'm going to do, so because this is riot ribbon, maybe I have to explain it. Because it's riot ribbon, you already can squeeze it a little bit. Now I'm going to do on the back side of the plaid one. I'm going to do a little glue and I place my black in between the little piece we just cut out on the back side. Now I'm going to lay on top of here also our squeezed black one. And you see, Now I'm squeezing it a little bit together and I'm bend over our black piece to make a nice topping for our bow and squeeze it. And I'm going to glue it on the back side. Again, do some glue over here and fold it together, and in a moment we cut out the piece we don't need. So this way, and now I'm going to cut off the rest. We already have our own little bow we can place in between our log. A little change of plans because I wanted to glue my little bow on top of my birch logs, but I was still missing something. I missed my tails. So what I did, I just cut out 4 pieces of my palette because I already made one of them. This is what I'm going to try to make. Of course, this was a little bit too wide, but we first make 4 of this one. So just 4 of the same pieces this way, and I have now still 3 to go, and I'm going to glue them on top of here just like we did with the first around our logs. So I'm going to glue it again on top of here, just in the middle again of your bow, your ribbon. And now we need the other one, and of course I can do it also on this one. Place it again in between. And what we are going to do, we are going to bend it together and we are going to make one fishtail this way. And you see, now we already have a next one. I will do all 4 of them, and then we are going to place them first before we do the bow, because our fishtails are a little bit too wide for on top of our birch log. I have to make them a little bit shorter, so I'm going to do a little bit of glue over here and just squeeze it over each other so you get a nice little package in between. So you fold it this way and now you get a nice little fishtail, and you see now it's glued together, and now you can easily glue it inside of here. I will make all 4 of them, and then we are going placing our bow. You see our birch log, we are going to glue this on top of here so we are sure that everything stays in place with enough glue. And we are going to do this sideways on top of here and just squeeze it until the middle. But of course your tail still need to come out, so don't do it too much to the middle because or else you won't see your tail. And this is one. Now we're going to do the other one. We are going to place this one over each other and just bend it a little bit. That's the great thing when you have your ribbon wired, and keep it in place for a little moment. And what we're going to do now, we are really going to place our bow in between and this one, and we'll do some glue on the back side of our bow. And now we are really going to do it a little bit sideways, but the opposite direction that we did our tails. And later on we will work with it so our bow gets a nice finished touch. So as you see already, I am really loving how it's turned out. It was really really a task because I didn't have my days, so sorry, but at the end I am really happy how it turned out. I will make the second one and then you see the end reveal.